guys, welcome back to another video from Possible Mowers. In today's video we're back in the old shop getting the girl tidied up a bit here. Old Chuck here. Tell you something, we got it going I want to say a month ago, and we had it driving, and it was supposed to be something premiered on the channel, but the shifter actually snapped. The little arm snapped from the transmission, and I'll show you guys when we go to pull this out today. And that's why you haven't been seeing this thing at all. But if it wasn't for that linkage, we probably would have had a good drive with this thing on the channel. But just looking at this mower, all it really needs is just a belt, that transmission linkage fixed, and that's pretty much it. Maybe a full tank of gas, and that's it. She's good. As far as looks goes, I'd like to get this to be spray painted and get a grill for that hood, or just get a new hood in general. I don't know, I kind of like that hood though. So yeah, I mean, we're going to dig right into it and just see what we can do with this transmission. I'll show you guys what we've done along the way if you can't remember from past videos. So stay tuned, and I'm going to cut the video off right here and we'll start it back when we start working on the transmission. Alrighty guys, we got the jack stand under here on both sides. And we got the old Mr. Heater cranked up, feeling nice and warm. Still a bit cold, but nothing terrible. So we're gonna take this transmission off. I can get a good camera angle. There we go. Okay, so roll it. I do believe it does help to have an impact. Probably should have grabbed this stuff before I turn the video on, but yeah, it is what it is. So I totally forgot what size these nuts are. Try 9/16. Nope. So might be Mexican American. Ah, yep, ½ inch. Is this ½ inch? Yeah, it's ½ inch. Okay. Perfect. Just making sure it's the right nut before we go taking off. Make sure it's the right one too. Perfect. And that is 13 mil. Perfect. All right. So we're going to tighten that puppy. Very good. Darn it, I might need an extension for this one, which I do have right here. Deep socket. Okay, actually, you know what? Instead of using deep socket, I'm just gonna use a wrench. I think we got a couple right here. Let's see. Perfect. Righty. So you guys can kind of see what it takes to take one of these transmissions off. Not very easy. Right on. Now what I always do is I grab anything I see around here, muffler, anything to cushion that transmission. You don't want to go boom onto the ground. You could crack something. Even though this is a wooden ground, we got wood floors here, you just don't want to risk it. This muffler right here, just right there, so that when it falls, it's not going to go kapow, you know. You don't want to break nothing. These cases are very, very weak. It doesn't take a lot to shatter them, especially in the winter, so you always want to keep that in mind. I'm going to get to these two other bolts here. I don't want to keep you guys. So when we get the transmission out, I'll bring the video back and show you what kind of damage it is. I actually don't know what happened under here. I do know that it snapped, but I never actually had to take the trans out and look for myself what actually made it snap. Could have been the welds, could have been the cold, I don't know. So like I said, we'll get back to it when I get the trans out. Alrighty, so you can actually see here the arm actually snapped off from these welds right here. Right there. And basically what I tried to do is with my stick welder, I tried to use this gear to hold the washer and then weld the washer onto the little spindle here that shifts the transmission, and then weld the arm onto that washer. And I can see here I built up a little too much here. Snapped right off. So stick welding on this stuff, it's just, I know this is crude welding, this is just terrible. I could have done better, way better than that. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna wire weld this with the old MIG, and hopefully that does it, do a cleaner job. And that looks like it's the problem. I'm kind of glad because I thought this whole assembly snapped off, but if it's just this, I'll take it. It means my weld's held up for the washer at least. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna grab this Dremel and grind this off nice and flat, and then probably just do that for the rest of the video, and then I'll have to do another video of us welding it back on. But this is a Peerless transmission, as it says here. I don't know what model number, but I did pulley swap this mower like I said before, and I did actually run it, and I did like 14, 15 miles an hour easy. It felt really nice, and what I really liked about this pulley swap, which is the 6.9, 6 up front, 9 in the back, don't want to get any mixed thoughts. What I really liked about the numbers, the 6 up front and the 9 on the back, is I was able to go third gear, because this is a 3-speed, third gear, super fast, second gear, kind of like regular speed, stock speed, and then first gear, a nice slow rock crawl, like really slow. I really enjoyed it, and it was just the ratio I'm looking for. So all that's got to be done really for this transmission. Fix a shifter, get a tighter belt, and that's it. I mean, just for aesthetics, I might get a grill, just so we can look cool. But that's pretty much it, guys. I mean, the deadline's coming up real nice here, and I'm really happy. I know somebody commented below saying what transmissions, like what types of transmissions we used, and we run Peerless. And the reason why we run Peerless, like you can see obviously there, but we run on Crusty as well, is because these are oiled transmissions. What a lot of people don't tell you is that when you go to pulley swap a mower, they will tell you, oh, we can just pulley swap this, it's gonna be fine. No, you gotta think about the transmission. Can the transmission handle it, yes or no? And what I'm gonna tell you right now is those Spicer transmissions, a lot of the Spicer ones that are greased, they will not handle pulley swapping. If you've ever seen somebody pulley swap a 6-speed, 3-speed, 4-speed, 2-speed, you name it, greased transmission, then you're gonna hear that whining from the transmission now, wee. But with this oiled one, when I ran it, holy smokes, you couldn't hear anything from the transmission. I'm gonna post it on my YouTube Shorts so you guys can get to see it. But you couldn't, the only thing you heard coming from my mower was the growling V-twin. That's it. You couldn't hear a darn thing. And that's the way you want it. You don't want to hear this loud noise. And also, the grease transmissions, they don't handle it. Why? Because when you're going that kind of speed on a transmission that's greased, the grease is going to heat up, the gears are going to heat up, you're going to start burning through that grease, and then you're just going to have plain gear. And a lot of times what happens is not really that, but more of the grease can't lubricate the gears fast enough because it's spinning so fast. The grease can only do so much. So what oil transmissions do is, just like in a motor, they grease everything up on a dime. It's like having liquid gold in the transmission. It loves it. And what these Peerlesses already come with is a filler plug and an exit plug for these transmissions. So you can drain it, you could fill it up, and they're oiled. So they're gonna really get the lubrication and cool the transmission down a lot more faster than the greased ones. And the greased ones are famous for locking up because they're not oiled. So one thing you always got to keep in mind is pulley size, how fast you want to go, and then the transmission itself. Some guy commented saying that he really liked my technical breakdown, and I'm going to tell you right now, not just, I don't want to keep blabbing on, but whenever you're working on anything in life, whether it's a mower, transmission, car, engine, in my case it's the mower, you always got to have that safety breakdown, because it's the one time you don't do it, you get lazy, something happens on the trails, somebody gets hurt, and it's not fun. We want to have a good time in here on the channel, and part of having a good time is having the brains. Think about it. Always think before you act. I'm not going to ride this thing with a broken shifter. I mean, I can't shift, so I can't control my speed. Doesn't make sense. So another thing that we have to do is, I mentioned belt on this thing. This is a 100-inch belt. It's the biggest belt we've ever run on the channel in my life. I've never run anything with a 100-inch belt. And this works, but as you can see with that clutch, the way it's positioned, even with the transmission out, is the exact way it's positioned when it's tight, which tells me the belt is way too loose. And then another way you can tell the belt's too loose is when you push that clutch in, the belt would always drop. So when you push that clutch in, the pulleys are supposed to come out, loosen the belt, and then engage the brake at the same time, because that is a brake and clutch pulley. Lever, sorry. And then when you release the clutch or disengage the clutch, the pulleys move back in, tighten the belt, and you're on your way. It stops it. It's kind of like a start and stop for the transmission. And if it's too loose, you have to always put that tension onto the lever. And then if it's too tight, then when you go to push that clutch in, it's still going to keep rolling. So that's why we always go like 2 or even 3 numbers above or below what number we're at. So we know 100 inches doesn't work. So I'm going to buy a 98 and a 99-inch belt just to see if one's too loose, one's right there, one's too tight, because you don't want to put like something too tight and then you have to ship it back, and then you don't want to do that. So word of the wise, measure first, measure twice actually, and then make your purchase, just so you're always confident. But that's pretty much all this thing needs. It's just the shifter fixed, proper belt, full tank of gas, and we're ripping. And that's pretty much it. So back to the transmission here. I'm really happy that the shifter didn't snap the way I thought it was, just because I was really worried that the assembly had broken off. But I think if we just grab the little mini Dremel, grind that stuff off flat, start welding with it. So I'm going to stop the video right here and bring it back to fast play of us getting it all dremeled. So stay tuned. Alrighty guys, gotta grind it off there. Gotta grind it off the best I could. My idea, you can see here, this is what I try to weld on. You can see the welds on the side here, what broke. But, you see that's where it used to be. I want to re-weld it just like this again, but I couldn't get the stick welder on this side, which is why this was really weak. So when we grab the wire welder, we can weld the underbelly, the sides, and then the back. So that puppy ain't gonna go anywhere. Of course, it all's good on paper until something goes wrong. So, that's it for today's video, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. Remember to like, comment, subscribe. Check out the Patreon and Instagram links below. And I'll also leave links for, like I said, stuff that we've done with Chuck below this video so that you guys can see what we've done. I also forgot to mention to you guys, I did buy some new transmission bolts for the tires. So, well, hope you guys stay safe, and I'll catch you guys next time.